grades. So, and then designing summer school, getting that all set up.
Yeah,
So
they told me I'm hired for summer school, but it's only dependent on if enough kids sign up. But it was supposed to be like STAR remediation summer school. So since they didn't have STAR, I doubt any kids are going to be signing up. So I don't think we're going to have it.
yeah, probably not. Yeah, I think for our teachers, it's like 3 weeks, $1,800. Like it's a pretty good gig, and all they got to do is follow an online curriculum and just check in with the kids once a day. So
I do. I try to do it every year, but usually, it's real like in person summer school. But
right.
they told us if we had it this year, it was going to be virtual.
Yeah, the way that they're doing grades for us is like they're actually giving assignments to the students once a week, and so like students are expected to complete it. So we've been trying to tell everyone like just pass them, like
Yeah.
what does it matter right now? But we still have a bunch of teachers that aren't passing all the kids. So
Yeah, that's the only thing that we can do is we can make grades go up, but we can't, make any grades go down. No matter what, if they don't do any work at all, as long as they're passing by March 12th, they're going to earn, the credit for the semester.
that's crazy. That's awesome. That's an easy way to do it.
Well, and then they don't have to worry about kids appealing because they had a sick family member or whatever. They just treat everybody the same.
Yeah, I wish we would have done something like that. Would have made things a lot more simple.
Can y'all hear me?
We can now.
You can?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. It wasn't the sound wasn't working earlier.
Mine took a minute to kick in.
Well, good.
All right.
How do we make the tiles?
Well, Kyle, your beard's getting about as long as my hair is.
Congratulations, I guess.
Whatever.
I that's a good thing that you have that much hair, right?
Yeah, that I'm still growing hair. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That gives us hope that I'll have hair to grow,
Yeah, okay.
when I hit senior status.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so we're recording, so if you want to give your message to Grandpa.
Happy birthday. Can we sing the birthday song?
Yeah, let's sing.
Do we know if anybody else is going to join? Wonder.
People said they were, but.
Yeah. What time is it? It's 5 after. Okay. 6 after.
Let me get Ron real quick. He ran away. I have that effect on men.
Hello, Laurel.
I like your hair, Laurel. I could pick you out anywhere.
You want to show them your birdhouse? They did it quick.
Ron's contractor is gonna be here soon, so he's just gonna say happy birthday real quick. You want to say happy birthday to Grandpa?
Happy birthday.
Are we gonna sing now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! And many more.
Cheers to 90 years.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm drinking water.
Me too.
All right. Anybody have something they want to say to a 90-year-old?
What a favorite memory?
I'll go. Grandpa, you taught me how to aim for shooting deer. You pulled out a corn feed sack, paper corn feed sack, and showed and drew the outline, the silhouette of a deer and the shoulder, and then you showed me right there on the silhouette shoulder where to aim. I was 6 years old, and then 3 years later, I still remembered what you drew when I shot my first deer. That's how I shot it. I shot it right through the heart. Dad was there. Oh yeah, and I'm wearing a shirt that you gave me, one of my pearl snaps. That's my style of shirt. I get that from you, among other things that I get from you, mannerisms, whatnot. I think humor as well. And yeah, so I'm drinking a coffee stout beer in celebration and in honor of you. That's all.
Well, I
Birthday,
think
Grandpa John.
Kirby should have had aiming lessons from my dad for killing her before she tried to kill her first deer. You won't.
Yeah, we missed that. We missed that day, that weekend. But I did all right.
What do you have, Laurel?
It's the bird house.
All right. Where's the bird?
We haven't put it outside yet.
Oh,
Did you build that, Laurel?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
What tools did you use to build it,
I
Laurel?
love the colors.
Hammer. Hammer and nail.
Did
Hammer
you use
and
your
nails?
toolkit? The toolkit you got for Christmas? That's awesome. You can start helping me with my projects now.
well, let's see. I think one thing we got from my dad was social, what do you call it? Get together. We like to have social gatherings and be together. He's always been a very social person. As long as I've been growing up, there's always people coming to the house, and you'd never got bored with that. There's always somebody coming that would be strange, but interesting to have around. So he taught us, between him and Mom, they taught us how to be social and to enjoy other people. So thank you, Dad, when you see this.
Well,
So
something
Gilbert,
that
One
Cheers to social
Christmas,
life.
one Christmas, I got the greatest gift ever from you. It was a brick. It wasn't wrapped. It wasn't anything. It was a brick, but in the holes of the brick were cash. And that was the beginning of great wrapping, great packaging. I've loved to be creative with packaging ever since.
That reminds me that there used to be sometimes bricks with a string tied through the holes, and then the string would run outside to something. Sometimes you thought it was big because it couldn't come inside, but then sometimes that would just be, that's what you expect, but it's actually a small gift, and they just wanted to make it more interesting. And then I think there was sometimes Christmases where there were multiple bricks and strings, and you had to choose, which one you were going to go with. You never knew what you were going to get. We should revive that.
It'll stay. This one's a little trickier.
All right. Something else I can thank you for is for teaching me how to fix things. And now I have passed that on to some of my kids, and shouldn't be surprised that even to Kirby. So, but it started with, of course, the older ones and went on down the line. And now y'all are big fixers. So making things and fixing things and welding, and that's what you need to learn next, Kirby, is how to weld.
Yeah, I have a project I want to do with some welding, but I think I'll need some non-beginner level stuff for that, since it's going to be a weight rack. So I'm going to need it to not fall apart.
I guess, Chris, you had to learn how to fix things on your own. I know I've seen some of the things that you've done over the years, a few little things. So unfortunately, you didn't get any of that from us, but you can see some of our work sometimes. So we're glad you're part of it in whatever way you are.
One thing that I like to
that, Kirby.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
So this is the last bottle I've got that was actually made by Grandpa, and as you can see, I haven't drank very much of it, but may just have to have a glass of that one tonight. It usually just stays on the shelf, but I guess, when did I start making the wine? It was 3 or 4 years ago. Came down, and Carol Jane joins me now every year, and we get to go down and pick grapes and in the hot summer sun, and then during the day we kind of tend to them and wash them up, and he taught me how to do all of that. And so it'll be pretty cool to continue that tradition as long as we can, keep making wine and jelly. And but I'll never forget the very first time that I came down. I had a big old bucket of grapes sitting in the kitchen under the sink, and I was rinsing all of them and de-stemming all of the grapes, and I got them all rinsed and got them in a clean bucket. And Grandpa came over, and he says, all right, now we're going to mash these with our bare foot. And I was thinking, Grandpa, that's kind of gross, but if it's how you do it, we do it. And Grandpa reaches around the sink, and he grabs an empty bottle of Barefoot wine. And so he taught me to use a wine bottle to mash all of the grapes. So that was pretty good. He got me on that one.
I think we have some. I think we have some. Glad we're not going to find a toenail in there when we drink it. So it's really fun. It's really fun.
No toenails in our wine.
So Laurel, do you remember riding the golf cart at Grandpa's house? Was that a good memory for you?
First thing that came to my mind was all the big parties at the lake house, swimming in that pool, and then the big Easter egg hunts that we would always have up there. That was a lot of fun.
I think my favorite memory was just the first time that I met him, and it was the first time that I went to Gilbert's house. And I drive up to the house, and he's outside, and he has this whole like cast iron frying set up on the front porch, and he's cutting, breading, and frying backstrap deer. And I was like, this is a really awesome person who still knows how to cook, knows how to throw a party. And it was like the perfect introduction to the Johnson family. And I'm so glad that it was him, and it was my first experience driving up to that house. Like, it's one I'll always remember. So happy birthday.
Yeah, it took him a little while to master that deer cooking, because when we first started out, Dad, I remember that you made deer meat chili. That's really about the only way we ate that deer meat. And you made it so hot that we could hardly eat it. You put so many jalapenos in there and the sweat would be literally pouring off our heads. We'd always make some to watch the Cowboy game and have friends over and stuff. And we made some sometimes. It was, we just couldn't finish the pot because it was so hot. But later years, you make some good chili and good stew. So.
Yeah, I remember just a few years back making some breakfast sausage, some pan sausage, and we were following an old recipe from like the 1980s that had been cut, that you or Grandma had cut out of the newspaper, and it was like Pedernales deer pan sausage breakfast something, I don't know, just very straightforward. And then we followed the recipe and we thought it was a little too gamey, so then we added in a little extra, I think it was sage, but it was just like a very subtle herb that we threw in more than what the recipe called for, but it ended up being perfect. So yeah, sometimes we get it right.
Ron was just telling me.
Mm.
Oh, go ahead, Mom.
I just want to say, remember, I will always remember how much you loved Leona and how good you always were to her. That was a really good example, and Mike's followed your example. He's a good man, and I attribute that to you. Also, how much you loved Eric and how good you were to Eric. That means the world.
So Ron was just telling me how the first time that he met Grandpa, so y'all know Ron's not much of a drinker. And so what happened when we got to Grandpa's?
Pretty much he said, here's a glass of wine, drink it.
He shoved it right in his face and he was like, here you go, here's a glass of wine. And you drank it, didn't you? Yeah, he drank it. But I had told him before we got there, I was like, now he's gonna give you a glass of wine, and he's gonna give it to you, so you should probably take it and at least try it. And it was just funny because Grandpa was just, I think he tried to say no.
I think I ended up drinking 2 glasses of wine that trip.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Well, Kyle might remember this one. When I think I was in 2nd grade was when we went and played the state championship down in Harlingen. And Kyle and I got to go with Grandma and Grandpa in their camper. I think we left several days before and we stopped at a campsite and camped. Well, anyways, the Kyle, I know you there's no way you forgot about this, but where we stopped and camped one night, the RV park had orange trees. And these orange trees, I mean, the oranges were ripe, they were perfect, and they were, anyway, so Kyle and I got to running around and throwing oranges at each other. And I came around the camper one time and Kyle had found this freaking orange that was like a grapefruit. And it was probably halfway rotten, I don't know, but it was mushy because my whole face got mushy. And I'll never forget going and staying in the camper on that trip and staying at that RV park with all those orange trees when Kyle lit me up with an orange all in my face. I don't even think I got mad. It was just funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I found one that seemed pretty ripe, and you can't, I didn't even plan it. You just came right around, you were standing right there, and it made its mark, and I was shocked by how much it splattered. I had no idea. It just exploded all over you, and it soaked like half your shirt. Not only your face, but like half your shirt. And I thought, oh boy, how am I going to explain this? I don't know how much we're going to get in so much trouble. We're not going to be allowed in the camper. So I don't know. I'd like to say that we just like switched into our swimming trunks and went and found the swimming pool, because there was no way that we could have, washed that off. That was a golden moment for sure.
It was like a water balloon smashed me in the face, but it was an orange. And I think on the way down there, Grandma was paying us. She made us, not made us, but we were playing the ABC game, and for every letter you found, you got like a nickel. And she had opened her little purse and was giving us nickels and dimes for finding letters.
I never got to play that game. That's not fair.
Okay, I think I've told this story before, maybe, but I remember, Dad, when I got my first car and you brought it home and you said, there's your car. You owe me $350. And then, but it needs a starter. So I had to, that was my beginning of the working on things. And then it needed some brakes. And I took the brakes all apart. And then I didn't know how to put them back together. So I came and got you out of the house and you said, well, you took it apart, you put it back together. So I think eventually you did have to show me how to put some of the pieces together, but I learned a valuable lesson there, never to take something apart before you know how to put it back together. So now we take pictures of things before we do that. And, but yeah, a white Chevrolet Nova, 2-door, 6-cylinder engine, column shift. And I drove that car for years and years and years. It was good. $350. I think, Kyle, Chris, your first car that I bought you, it was only a 350, maybe it's a little bit more than that. Well, you started out with that old Hyundai from Matt, and then that crashed. It didn't crash, it just burned up. But then I got a car from Jack Brown, and that was a cheap car, and something happened to it. I don't know, but
Yeah, he and Cullen had twin cars.
Yeah, got 2 cars.
$500 each.
That didn't cost very much. Cullen fixed the brakes on his by himself. I remember that. Okay, that's the car story. Your sound is off.
Egan, you're on mute.
So I'll car story. Just growing up, going to our deer lease in Llano, I always looked forward to getting to ride in the Scout. That was always something I looked forward to and still look forward to. So happy it's still around and still putting around.
Okay, yeah, that reminds me that we were up in Colorado one time when I got to go up there and driving down the road, going back to the camp house down a county road, and there were a couple of bucks, and you shot them right out of the Scout. And here we are on the side of the road. We had to hop the barbed wire fence and drag both these big old bucks down and put them in the truck and take off. But you got some pretty nice bucks. It was just like, Dad, what are you doing? Shooting these animals on the side of the road. Oh, it was scary.
Well, I didn't even realize it, but I got that from Grandpa, just stopping the vehicle and pulling out a gun and shooting deer. Apparently that runs in the family.
I guess so.
Or your brother.
All right. Well, I'm going to get back to building some handrails. That's my project today. So,
Yeah. Are you
happy birthday, Grandpa. Talk to you soon. Love you. See you soon.
Happy birthday, Grandpa Johnson. You say happy birthday. Nico?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Gilbert. We love you.
Well, of course, Grandpa is an awesome grandpa, and I wish him the best ever birthday. And just really appreciate him being the grandpa that he is. So he's fabulous, and it'll be good. It'll be good. This next year will be a good one for him. So there you go. That's my